Hey Gauchos, it's Marv coming at you with another episode of GauchoTV, and this week I'm very excited. Why am I excited? Well, is it because this week I happen to actually be prepared? No, that's not really it, although that is exciting in itself. Actually, this week I'm excited because I'm launching a whole new feature, kind of a new format for GauchoTV. At the front and back of every episode, I'm going to give you my top 5 and bottom 5, and they're going to be different categories, and they're just kind of a quick way to kick off the show and to wrap it up. So let's get it started. First of all, hip new graphic for the new feature. It's an okay looking graphic. I've seen better. No offense. Alright, so this week's top 5, kicking off with top 5 environmentally friendly money-saving tips. Alright, so some of these you've probably heard before, but we'll run through them real quick. Number 5, CFLs, compact fluorescent light bulbs. You're saying, Marv, I've heard this before. I either don't like them because, how am I saving money? Because they're more expensive. Well, the thing is, they last so much longer. They last a lot longer than the number of bulbs they'd replace, and now they're making them so they're a little more yellow tinted, so they're a little more like incandescent bulbs, because if you're like me, like white CFL bulbs, really, everything washes out and looks really blue and kind of pale and gross. But these new CFL bulbs, I'm using some in here right now, quite warm and orangey glow. No? Yes, okay. Number 4, go digital. If you're still buying CDs, the cases that they make for CDs are made of a real hard to recycle plastic, the clear kind, So you're really saving a huge carbon footprint and being greener if you just download digitally. And if you don't like iTunes, if you're one of the people out there who I don't want to give iTunes all my info, check out Amazon's MP3 store. It's awesome. No DRM'd, high quality MP3s. Transfer everywhere. You can play them on MP3 players that are in cars now, and it's great. And it works on iPods and works on iPhones and everything. All right? Okay. Number 3, give up paper towels. This is one I had kind of a hard time doing myself. I was a big paper towel abuser, but finally I came around and saw the light. That I was going through so many of them. I bought a $5 pack of 8 bar mop towels. Target has a deal going on right now where they got an area set up that's supposed to compete with bulk buying warehouses like Sam's Club and Costco, and the deals are pretty good. And so I grabbed a pack of those bar mops and I moved to using those. And it's great because you launder them, reuse them, and it's so much more environmentally friendly than paper towels, and I'm not throwing away a ton, and I'm saving a lot of cash on that deal too. So highly recommend that. And number 2, cook at home, eat at home. This is what I do 5-6 nights a week. I cook and eat at home. Now keep in mind, every time you go out to eat, it's going to be, let's say dinner or lunch for 2 people is going to be anywhere from $25 to $35 after the tip. You can get a week's worth of groceries for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, decent meals, for 2 people for anywhere from $150 to $180. And that's getting some nice stuff too. That's getting higher quality meat and higher quality vegetables, and you're eating healthier. You're not eating packaged foods and processed stuff. Always shop the perimeter of the store. That's where the freshest food is, by the way. Quick tip there. And finally, number 1, skip the dry cleaner. I know who doesn't like to send out their shirts and have them come back pressed and in a box and wrapped up nicely, but dry cleaners use some harsh chemicals, not great for the environment. So instead, get a hand steamer, steam it out, and you'll be rocking it. And those are your quick top 5 for the front of the show. And now on with more Gaucho TV. Hello, my name is Marv, and I have trouble seeing. Yes, I know you're surprised. My eyesight is far from perfect. In fact, I can really only see things that are up close. As things get further away, I have more and more trouble seeing them. Off to the horizon, at which point they disappear completely. But they're pretty blurry even at just a little past arm's length. I have bad vision. I'm nearsighted. And I have really had struggles over the years finding glasses I like. It's a real difficult thing because, sometimes I want something a little more sturdy, sometimes I want something a little more fun. I wear these to the gym, so they really get worn out. So it's tough. I go through glasses pretty quickly, and it's usually been a pretty expensive proposition. Companies I've worked for over the years sometimes have had optical coverage, and I've been able to get really nice glasses and even an extra pair. How fancy. And then other times I've just had to out-of-pocket it, and I have at times spent up to $600 or $700 just to get a pair of glasses. Seems expensive? It is. On average, usually when I go to the place at the mall, because if you're like me, you do the same thing I do. You head to that place in the mall, the Eye Masters or the Lens Crafters or the Pearl or the what have you, and you go in and you get your eye exam. They give you your eye exam, you go out, you pick out the pair of frames, and you walk out the door. If you don't have any optical coverage in your healthcare, then you're usually out of pocketing $150 to $300, depending on the frames you got and how strong the prescription is and how much work they had to put into it. Now, while this is all fine and good, I've got my last prescription about 18 months ago. And they still seem to be okay. I'm not having any trouble seeing anything any worse than I am, but I am in the market for some new glasses. So what I did was decide to check out one of the many sites online that offer inexpensive glasses online. If you've already got your glasses prescription and you don't need to change to your prescription, or if you just go and just get your eye exam and they give you the information, you can take that online, plug in that information, and have glasses sent to you, and it's way cheaper, way cheaper than buying them in the store. A lot of the markup they make in those mall stores and all the private resellers is on the frames. They get those frames and mark them up anywhere from 50 to 1,000%. I mean, they can mark them up pretty drastically. You'd be surprised. So I did just that a couple nights ago. I logged on and I'd been looking at a few sites and I'd gotten some recommendations for Zenni Optical. So you can take a look at that here. Now there's a whole bunch of sites that offer it. I'm not personally endorsing Zenni Optical. We'll see. I'll wait until my glasses get here and I'll let you know in a future episode of GauchoTV. But as you can see, their site is pretty good looking actually. They've got great deals on a lot of selection of frames. The drag is you can't really see what they look like on your face. Some sites do have a thing where you can upload your picture and then kind of test out to see what the frames look like. They didn't have these here, but they did have some great deals. I found a pair I liked for 25 bucks and I had my prescription in my wallet, so I just plugged that in, sent it off, no problem, right? Right. Hopefully in the next episode of Gaucho TV I'll be able to tell you about it, or in the one following. I should definitely have it by then. The good news is the frames, the lenses, the whole thing shipped with an anti-reflective coat and scratch protection and a whole bunch of stuff. Came to $39. $39 for the whole thing. Now admittedly I didn't have to get a new eye exam, but 40 bucks for the frames and lenses and shipping versus what I would easily pay walking into a regular mall shop where easily 100 bucks is going to go. 100 bucks is almost a foregone conclusion, possibly more. Some places may offer better deals from time to time, but you're limited in selection of frames, or you're limited to just what they can fit in, and if you have a really special prescription, that can be a lot more exotic. And they do charge more even on Zenni Optical if you have extremely heavy prescriptions because they have to use different types of lenses, etc., etc. Anyway, look into it. If you're like me and you have trouble seeing, don't hang your head in shame. Just log on, put in your information, and get yourself an inexpensive pair of fashionable eyeglasses. And if they look gross, hey, you're only out 40 bucks, right? Yeah. You could always just sort of paint over them and use them as sunglasses, I guess. Really dark sunglasses. Yeah. Alright, so this week's bottom 5, I chose bottom 5 specialty publications for the super wealthy. I don't know if you've ever seen these magazines. I rarely do. I don't frequent country clubs. I'm just a regular guy. But I happened to be in a country club for a work-related function once and picked up a copy of one of these magazines and saw them, and I'm like, wow, there's a magazine for that? So I'll run down them real quick. Number 5, Luxury Lifestyle Magazine. As you can see here, the home of the diamond-encrusted Swiss Army knife. That's just amazing. Number 4, Golf Connoisseur Magazine. Now this is not for just a standard golfer. Oh no, the connoisseur of golf will play only on the cleanest dirt, I guess. I'm not exactly sure. Whatever. Number 3, Cigar Aficionado. The perfect magazine for the guy who likes to light up one of these things that's going to make the whole bar reek. Who doesn't love Cigar Aficionado? There's always a famous person on the cover who's like, yeah, you've never seen me smoke a cigar before, but here I am enjoying it. Thanks, George Lopez, big cigar smoker? Whatever. Number 2, Executive Golfer Magazine. This is the one I actually held in my hands. I was at a country club and I picked it up and I was like, wow, Executive Golfer Magazine. It is the magazine for the golfing executive. What I found out later that scared me is it's not the only one. And finally, the number one, my favorite, bottom number one, I guess, specialty publication for the super wealthy is the Robb Report. And this is where you can find out the best price on a new Bentley, because it's so practical to buy a $300,000 car. Why, if I had to live in my car, which I would do if I had to try and finance a $300,000 car, I'd want to live in a $300,000 car and then sell it and buy a nice-sized home and a car and food for about 3 months. Anyway, that's this week's Gaucho TV. Don't forget to check out Gaucho TV live Thursday nights, 6 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Pacific, and I will see you on the next episode of Gaucho TV.